Thank you, Chair. We received a factual error notification concerning the evaluation of the Ombilin coal mining heritage of Sawahlunto, and this to be found on page 73 of the English version of Inf 8B4 and on page 74 of the French version of the same document. And this notification has also impacts on the proposed statement of outstanding universal value that are already integrated in our draft decision. Thank you.
Thank you. ICOMOS, please, welcome.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning. The ICOMOS evaluation of the Ombilin coal mining heritage of Sawahlunto, Indonesia, can be found in document Inf 8B1 on page 133 of the English version and page 125 of the French version, and draft decision is at 43com 8B17. A complex industrial and social system was established in the 19th century to extract, process and transport high-quality coal from a remote area of Western Sumatra. Built by the Netherlands colonial government, mining continued under Indonesian ownership until 2002. This nomination has 12 components within 3 main areas, spanning 155 kilometers, from the remote mountains to the Indian Ocean port at Padang via a purpose-built railway system. The 3 areas demonstrate the full extent of the coal mining and transportation system, including the housing and community facilities for the people that worked for the mining enterprise. Area A includes the mining and coal processing sites. Deep pit mining required capital investment and technological ability. The components include the pit mine sites, tunnels, ventilation system, water pumping station, power plant, and coal processing facilities. The extraction of high-quality coal from the Ombilin Basin for more than a century is an exceptional example of a technologically advanced system established within the context of European colonization in Asia. Also in Area A is the company town of Sawahlunto. Many buildings with the characteristic Indie style remain and are adapted to ongoing uses and community facilities. The needed labour and know-how was considerable, and a mining school established in 1916 has supported the long-term capacity of the mine. At its peak, the population of the town was more than 7,000 people. All workers were housed in the town, along with many community facilities. Area B is the rail route, constructed from 1887 between the mining areas and the port. Several bridges exhibit technological innovation. Area C is located at the port. A single component includes coal storage facilities. The State Party has provided additional evidence and research about the contributions of local cultural and landscape knowledge to the development of the mine. The many skilled and unskilled workers included local Minangkabau people, convict labourers, and Javanese and Chinese contract workers. ICOMOS considers the social history to be a critical part of the significance of this system and has recommended continued research and interpretation of the social histories. The comparative analysis demonstrates the significance of the coal mining enterprise, particularly in the context of colonial encounters between European and Southeast Asian peoples. The nominated property demonstrates criteria 2 and 4. The requirements for authenticity and integrity have been met. ICOMOS has made recommendations to reduce the vulnerability of some components and to comprehensively identify attributes in order to ensure the effectiveness of protection and management. Exchanges between ICOMOS and the State Party resulted in a minor adjustment to the boundary of one of the railway stations. The single buffer zone is sufficient to protect the property, although it is comprised of a number of different legal mechanisms and could be further streamlined in the future. The main factors affecting the property are uncontrolled small-scale domestic and commercial development, particularly in Sawahlunto, and deterioration of the physical fabric due to high humidity levels and vegetation growth. There is no mining within the property or its buffer zone, and none will be permitted in the future. The legal protection was improved by the State Party during the evaluation and is now fully in place. The State Party has indicated a possibility for the property to be designated as a national strategic area following inscription, which could assist in further improving and clarifying the legal protection. The management system is adequate, although it relies on excellent coordination between different government agencies, private owners and communities across a large area of the province. To conclude, ICOMOS recommends that Ombilin coal mining heritage of Sawahlunto, Indonesia, be inscribed in the World Heritage List on the basis of criteria 2 and 4, and has included a number of further recommendations in the draft decision to aid the long-term conservation of the property.
Thank you very much.
you.
Kuwait, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, no one doubts that Indonesia has tremendous natural, cultural, or mixed heritage, but we applaud them to submit the first industrial heritage in this meeting. And this site, or this nomination, is showing an outstanding example of pioneering technological ensembles built by the European engineers in the globally important period of industrialization in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The rail system devised to transport coal, high-quality coal, from the remote and inaccessible region to the city. It demonstrates the exchange of fusion between the European and the local knowledge and practice within the context of global industrialization and colonization. Finally, the Ombilin Training Education Facility formalized the transfer of knowledge within the colonial and post-colonial context, including coal mining with tropical climate. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Spain, please.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Queremos felicitar a Indonesia por esta candidatura, porque no solamente está bien estructurada y los 12 componentes en que se dividen las 3 áreas expresan el valor que tiene el bien, sino porque en una sociedad o en un mundo en el que todo fluye tan rápido, en el que las nuevas tecnologías avanzan tanto y en el que parece que el ansia por conquistar el futuro nos lleva a olvidarnos del porqué de algunas cosas y a olvidar el pasado con cierta facilidad y cierta fluidez, cuando se plantea un ejemplo como este, que nos permite demostrar cuál es el impacto de los cambios en las relaciones sociales productivas que se impusieron por el poder colonial europeo en las colonias, que suministraron las materias primas que a su vez permitieron la industrialización mundial en la segunda mitad del siglo XIX y XX. Es decir, está diciendo, toda esta industrialización salió por algo y salió por una combinación perfecta de las tecnologías más avanzadas en aquel momento, aunque ahora nos parezcan desfasadas, respetando también la sabiduría medioambiental local. Fue tan importante la aportación de la comunidad local y su sabiduría de convivencia con el medio ambiente como la inteligencia de los ingenieros y la tecnología que había. Por tanto, hacer una parada reflexiva en la historia y pensar de dónde venimos y qué aportó cada uno a ese mundo industrializado queda perfectamente reflejado en esta candidatura, más allá del propio valor material que tiene. Por tanto, felicidades a Indonesia y gracias por el expediente que se ha trabajado y por el informe que ICOMOS nos ha hecho, porque además de darle calidad a la lista, nos ayuda a ser un poco menos adánicos y a entender muchas cosas de nuestro pasado. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Australia, please.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to Indonesia for this comprehensive serial nomination and to ICOMOS for their excellent and their professional evaluation. We have on the World Heritage List quite a number of large mining sites from Europe and from South America, so Australia was very interested to see a nomination of such a site from our close neighbour, and one in a tropical environment that was established during the colonial period. The nominated series reflects a complete system from extraction and processing of coal to the housing for workers and the transportation of the coal to the port. Such a large site, especially in this tropical context, poses many conservation hurdles, but the State Party seems committed to and is implementing effective and collaborative management and conservation of the property. Like our colleagues from Spain, we were particularly interested in the history of the mining community that included people who came from other parts of Indonesia, from Europe, Japan and elsewhere, who together with the local community, whose knowledge of the landscape and environment contributed to the mining operation, built a successful community. We hope that the inscription of the property will bring an opportunity for further research and interpretation of the social life of the mine, and we wholeheartedly support its inscription.
Thank you very much. Tunisia, please.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je voudrais tout d'abord exprimer nos remerciements pour la qualité du rapport présenté par l'organe consultatif. Et la Tunisie voudrait saluer la qualité de ce dossier et féliciter l'État partie de présenter un dossier de très grande qualité et qui, permettez-moi de faire une association avec le dossier qu'on a adopté et la résolution qu'on a prise hier concernant le dossier du Burkina. Voici comment la culture se fait. Elle se fait par les hommes et les femmes qui travaillent tous les jours dans notre vie quotidienne. Hier, c'était les forgerons, aujourd'hui, ce sont les mineurs. Le patrimoine de la mine de charbon que nous étudions aujourd'hui est un très bel exemple de la cruciale et dernière phase d'industrialisation mondiale. Cela a conforté d'ailleurs la proposition d'inscription sur la base de l'article 4, mais également il faut souligner avec satisfaction la complétude de cet ensemble de manière à démontrer un système pleinement intégré en vue d'une extraction optimale. Voici les deux éléments qui ont permis à la proposition d'inscription qu'elle soit basée sur les critères 4 et 2. La Tunisie appuie pleinement cette décision et félicite encore une fois l'État partie de nous offrir un si beau dossier.
Merci beaucoup. China, please.
Thank you, Chair. China commends the State Party of Indonesia for this great, very important nomination, and we appreciate this ICMOS for a very comprehensive and important evaluation. The Ombilin coal mining heritage of Sawahlunto combines modern and contemporary advanced industrial technology with Indonesia's special climatic and geographical environment, traditional practices, and wisdom. Preservation of this unique industrial heritage will inspire exhibition, protection, and management of the industrial heritage. China congratulates Indonesia on inclusion of its heritage, Ombilin coal mining heritage of Sawahlunto onto the World Heritage List, and hopes that the conservation of the heritage property will serve as an example for the best and of the best practice from Indonesia for international peers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I ask honorable members of the committee, are there any other opinions or objections to the draft proposed by the ICOMOS? I don't see any. May I ask Rapporteur if there are any drafts proposed additionally?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have no draft amendments for this decision.
So as soon as it is like that, I would like to propose to approve the proposed draft decision, and I declare the decision 43-8B-17 adopted like amended. On behalf of all the members of the committee, I would like to congratulate Indonesian delegation for this achievement and inscription of the site in the heritage list. And I will give the floor to the delegation to supply the intervention.
His Excellency, Mr. Abdul Faz Garayev, Chairperson of the World Heritage Committee, distinguished delegates of the committee members, advisory bodies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank the committee for its decision to inscribe the Ombilin coal mining heritage of Sawahlunto to the World Heritage List. The property is Indonesia's first industrial heritage, which presents an outstanding example of pioneering technological development in the late 19th centuries. It is a fusion between the European engineering knowledge with local environmental wisdom, traditional practices, and cultural values in the coal mining activities. The property has played an important role and contribution to the economic and social development in Sumatra Island and throughout the world. The establishment of systemic linkage of coal mining industry, train system, and harbor exhibits a good example of rapid regional development on the global economic growth. It also illustrates the impact of profound change in social relation of production imposed by colonial powers to their colonies. The cultural interaction between Eastern and Western world has transformed the remote area into remarkable dynamic urban mining patterns, comprising modern and integrated multi-ethnic and multi-religious community. The successful nomination is resulted from an excellent collaboration between central government and local government, as well as a result of rigorous efforts among multi-stakeholders, namely research institutions, universities, and experts. I am pleased to convey to you that the Ombilin coal mining heritage of Sawahlunto is a truly significant Indonesian natural and cultural properties that is important to the Indonesian people as well as others around the world. Before I end my remark, I would like to reiterate once again our deepest appreciation for your invaluable support of Ombilin, for Ombilin coal mining heritage of Sawahlunto as the World Heritage of UNESCO. I thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. And before moving to the other matter, I would like to give the floor representative of the NGO from Indonesia, Wahle, I think is the name.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I speak on behalf of WALHI, Indonesia's largest environmental organization. We acknowledge the Indonesian government enthusiasm for recognizing our country's rich heritage. We also share this enthusiasm. Indonesia has over 1,300 ethnicities and culture, many of which whose indigenous knowledge and cultural heritage exemplify OUV as defined by the World Heritage criteria for selection. Indonesia also has a world sites which will also qualify as iconic World Heritage sites. Today, the Ombilin coal mine has been inscribed. The mining sites is a symbol of the beginning of the destruction of nature and culture of tropical rainforests in Indonesia. It is also the start of Indonesia becoming a major source of greenhouse gas emission through coal energy. We understand that mining and coal sites have been inscribed as World Heritage sites in the past. We also understand that sites commemorating and memorializing human conflict and tragedy is important and necessary. However, recognizing and memorializing the human suffering and environmental fallout from coal, which the world is still dealing with, is not reflected in Ombilin's inscription. Instead, the legacy of forced labor is sanitized. The ongoing environmental impacts and coal mining in the area are ignored. We raise this issue not to dismiss the significance of the technological, cultural, but to contextualize it in our shared human history. For instance, there are still 13 mining licenses in Sawahlunto. Local communities are still suffering. It leads to the question of how said parties should prioritize the nomination of new sites. In the Indonesian context, there are ecosystems, some with critically endangered species in more urgent need of protection and conservation. In the future, whether the World Heritage Committee should inscribe former coal sites is a key question which should be truly discussed. Should the World Heritage Committee inscribe sites which sanitize our history in driving climate change? Thank you.
Thank you. We will take it for the note. And now we are moving to another